What's up, everybody? It is Matt from Electric All Wheel, and today we have the Himiway Rambler. This is the 500-watt rear hub version, the step up with the hydraulic brakes. It does not have the mid-drive, but that's coincidental because it works for us, because our goal is to add a second battery, and the controller is right here in this compartment. We are pretty excited about that. We're going to be adding a 48-volt down tube battery utilizing the bike case straps and the bike case bottle cage strap adapters. Now, I know a lot of you say, well, you immediately lose the step-through version. Well, I have size 14, 15 feet, depending on the shoe, and they fit right through here, no problem. If you don't agree with that, then we do have an alternative selection for you. We can use the bike case Big Daddy rack bag, and then for this one, we have the MIK adapter, which allows you to click the bag on and easily remove it if you want to take it when you are parked and you need to move about with the contents of your bag. With that, we have the 48-volt 10 amp hour battery that you've seen us use in a lot of the videos, and it just fits quite nice inside here. And then for this one, you see that we're using the 48-volt high-long down tube battery with a hard shell case. This does have the bike case straps, and it is just on here, so it's not going anywhere. They do have a texture on there that keeps them slip resistant, and then with the two on the battery case and then the one around the body, it's very secure. Stick around to the end of the video and we will give you some range calculations utilizing the mica toll constant, and we will leave links to all the products in the description below. We appreciate you utilizing those products to help keep Electric All Wheel moving. This is our first time with the Himiway in a very long time, and we do know that we're going to be able to utilize the Himiway cable adapters, which we have in stock in the Electric All Wheel store, so this should be a straight plug-in. One of the things we are going to have to worry about is the total room inside, so we are unsure if it will be an internal or external connection. We'll use the Rad Himiway 40 amp kit, or there may be a better combination because of the sales to get the 40 amp universal kit with the Rad Himiway cables. So keep that in mind as well. You're going to need to do your math, and it will depend on whether we run an internal or external installation. We will pursue internal, but we recognize that sometimes we have to bring it external, and if we do, we will use the Beetle bag, cell phone bag, and then house the balancer inside there. And then we also utilize the Tidy Helper cable clips to help secure it to the frame. So this should be a good install. We'll start by removing the side plate and getting in there, having a look. We're going to check real estate, and then we're going to check cable placement, and then we'll get the second battery installed, button it up, get you the range calculations, and then move on to the next. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary, and if you're in the area, check out E-Bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Get in that Facebook group, make an event, go for a ride with your friends. Here we go. We're hoping to not have to take off the crank arm. We recognize that it might be a possibility, but we're going to see about getting this plate off, and then there's another plate underneath it. So we will assess from there once we get a look. It's tight, tight, tight. Holy moly. There we go. inside this box. They've really got it. So you're going through here on this plate and then down the bottom and out. I'm sure it'll work, but dadgum. Perfect. So I think what we've got here is we have to bring these cables and we're just gonna need to get them external. We're gonna run this whole thing outside the bike and then we will bag a cell phone bag either on the inside here or right here, or perhaps, um, hmm. So yeah, I think we'll use this section and then we'll stabilize that cell phone bag here, and then that will actually eliminate some of the room with the step through on the down tube setup. But I will show you that option, and then again we will have the option to run up to the rear rack. So as soon as we get outside of the plate, the user of the kit with the Rambler will have choice, and then we'll leave links for each of the different setups in the description below. All right, so the battery connectors are the bigger setup here, and you would just unplug them like so. And then you're gonna take your cables and then plug in the ends opposing what just came out of the factory setup. We're gonna do this and we're gonna test really quick. So now here are the two ends off of those cables. We're gonna take our balancer and we're gonna go ahead and plug that in. Can't really mess it up, you just plug in what works. And then this would be for the second aftermarket battery. We're just going to leave this hanging loose, and now we're going to go ahead and test to see that we can get some wheel spin from the bike being on. Perfect. Now begin the routing process. I did not take the crank off. You may want to do that. I did not want to do that, so you can see that I just rolled it back to get it out of the way. Maybe rolling it forward might have been a better option. Yeah, like this. So you can actually see what's going on, and then through the bottom is going to be our point of entry. I'm going to take loose the extra cables that just came in, and then one by one I'm going to bring them up into the body here. That's the first one. So I use the female end first because it's the bigger connector, and then I'm going to go in with the male. There we go. It was tight. Don't get it twisted, but now that we're in, we're good to go. Go ahead and plug these in. So you just plug in the ends that match. So this is from the controller. And then this one is coming from the battery internal. that. Beautiful. Okay, I have taken my cables and just run them up through the bottom in this opening here, and we're getting to target right here. And then for this, we're going to use the bike case, Beetle case cell phone bag. And we're going to go right in this area. I think we could do this, but I just don't want to smash it in there. It might be a better way, though. Yeah, maybe we do. That way we keep this open. There's no obstruction. Should be fine. These will run right internal, and then we'll just take our cables external when we bring it out. So what I'll do is I'm just going to do the install on this side so we can get it, but you see now that the bag will fit here, and all you need to do is get your cables inside with your balancer and then just put it in there and then strap it up, and you should be good to go. Once you get them in, you'll want to run another one out so you get outside of the bag. If you're coming out here to the front, then you'll just run the cable out as well. We're going to put it here so we can demonstrate this install easily and then move some of the cables about while we're doing it. It is assumed that once you guys get this done, it's not coming out, so don't worry. Go ahead and get our zip ties buttoned up, or use zip ties to button up our cables. There we go. And I know that looks to the extent of the bag, but once it's inside, it's not going to be an issue. Take my balancer. That's what we're looking for. Beautiful. At this point, it's worth noting that we do sell the Datex DX2 adapter, and what you'll see is across the top there are 4 connections because it can do a dual input, dual output. Now this bike only has the rear hub motor, so there's only a single output necessary for one controller. But what we also have is a USB adapter that allows you to have 2 extra USB plugins, and then the end of this would actually plug into one of the unused outputs, and then that would go in the bag, and you could use it to have an extra plug-in that would use the battery setup on your bike. Really convenient. You would just put them in here and then have the cables run out right through this opening that we're using on the Beetle bag, cell phone bag. So these are the cage strap adapters, and there are 2 screws at the top. And they are attached fully right here. Now, they had to be modified, and we added different M5 screws here so that the battery could slip over this plate. The screws that actually come with the straps are too big. We did use the factory one here, and remember, it's only connected by one screw, so it seems loose, but once it's strapped down, it's a really tight connection. And then we're going to put a main strap over the whole setup, so that it just becomes one assembly. There's that. So yes, remember when I said I had this slip through right here, this is taking up that space. But again, right, if we undo this bottom and we were to just turn it, it will fit. And then you have this. You will need the extension cable that comes with the 40 amp kit. So keep that in mind, or you just buy the extension cable separately, the XT60s, and then you run them into the bag. So we are going to take one of the extensions that come with just the universal kit, because we use the universal kit, and then the rad wires, the rad cables purchased separately. And then we're just going to go ahead and plug this in. What this will do is give us enough length to come back around and then bind all this stuff together. Now we're going to go ahead and plug it in. From here, what I like to do is use these Tidy Helper cable clips, and they are very convenient for stuff like this. They have a little glue on backside, and then you just slip the cable into here, and then it will hold it down to the body and just make it a nice clean look, like so. I'm not going to install them for now. This is going to be a separate install for later, so I just wanted to show you that and give you a heads up. It makes it a really, really convenient setup, so definitely worth utilizing these Tidy Helper cable clips. These are actually for audio-video cable. So the last step for the most secure connection is we take the 2-inch bike straps and we just double them up, and then we're going to go around the battery, and then this will be a secure lockdown for the thing. That is on there super tight. Okay, best practice would be to have removed the battery and then tested and demoed, but I can do that here with the balancer. So I know this long one is the second battery, so I'm going to unplug the factory battery. So we see that we have one of them are unplugged. There's power. Now what I'm going to do is just plug that one back in. Now it will maintain power. Then I'm going to unplug the other one. And then there it is. So that is your factory setup right there. And then that last one was your second battery. So we know we have a good connection for both. and we are good to go. You don't have to unplug your batteries to charge them. Best practice, turn them off. Ultimate safety is unplug them, but it's not that big of a deal. This customer already had an alarm system on their bike, so we left that. That's why the offset on the strap. So don't forget, there is another option. If you don't want to do the down tube battery, you can take like one of these and then you would just run your cabling through here. We do recommend the Bike Case Big Daddy rack bag, and the reason we recommend this thing is because even though you feel like you take up room in your compartment, it has these side pannier bags that come out and then gives you all the extra room. There's one on either side, and then if you use the MIK mount, what will happen is once this goes on, you have a push button lever that makes it super easy to just break it off. And then it's actually keyed so that you have to have the key to get it and push it off. So it's a really convenient system. You can see the feet on here that keep the bag up, and then there's like the head clip here that goes in, and then you hear it just snap into place and it's secured to the bike. So we really like this. It actually does come with some straps so you can shoulder the bag and then move about with it as well. The MIK adapter is pretty convenient to use. So what you do is you just loosen these 4 screws, widen it to fit for the rack, and then use these screws to tighten these clamps around the rails on the 4 points of the adapter. It makes it really convenient. It works. You're able to line it up. When you get it on here, make sure the bag doesn't obstruct the seat. There you have it. We have successfully installed a second 48 volt 15 amp hour on the down tube. Keep in mind, you don't have to use the battery that we have suggested or placed here. You can choose any 48 volt battery you want. Just make sure you choose one that has a BMS that's capable of handling the current limit on the controller, which on this bike I believe is no more than 25. So you should be good with the general industry standard and any one of the recommended 48 volt batteries we have in the links below. We also showed you the possibilities for a rear rack bag. I know a lot of you would step through, desires, don't want to lose any of this here. We did demonstrate that this can turn around, so you can fit in between the battery and the seat post down tube. So don't worry about that. You are open to have your installation anywhere you want. We just wanted to demonstrate this and the possibilities with the products that are available. We know a lot of you stuck around for the range calculations, so let's just get to it. The factory battery is 14.4 amp hours. We're just going to call it 14, and this is a 15 amp hour high long down tube, so we're going to do 14 plus 15, and you get 29 amp hours. Multiply that times 48 volts, you get 1,392 watt hours. We're going to divide that by 25. And 25 is the Mica total constant, which says it's 25 watt hours per mile ridden at 20 miles an hour, throttle only. And you get 55.68 miles at 20 miles an hour, throttle only on this Himiway Rambler. Keep in mind, this is not the Pro version with the mid-drive. This is the 500 watt rear hub. It does have the hydraulic brakes, so it's the step up. Like there were 3 tiers for these bikes. So keep that in mind. It does have the upgraded display as well. Also, if you're going to be adding all of this range, we highly advise that you go ahead and add a Bike Case suspension seat post. This is a 30.4 millimeter post, and we have the 27.2 with 27.2 Bike Case seat post with the 30.4 millimeter shim. Fits right in, and you would just replace. This is the Cloud9 brown seat. We really like the cushiness of that, and so we suggest with all the emphasis we can for you to go ahead and get a suspension seat post if you're going to be riding out full range on your dual battery e-bike. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary, and if you're in the area, check out e-bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Get in that Facebook group, make an event, and go for a ride with your friends. We'll talk to you next time.